Jokic just gets it off in time. It's up. Oh, it's good!
Nikola Jokić with a magician's vision.
Jokic is away, and he scores in a fun. Unbelievable. Jokic for three. Oh!
All season long, the NBA tried everything to stop Jokic. They doubled him, and he found the open man. They trapped him, and he made passes nobody else would even try. They threw elite defenders at him, and he just shot over them like they weren't there. The result? One of the most dominant seasons we've ever seen. No all-stars beside him, no all-NBA teammates, just Jokic carrying Denver on his back. And now, the Nuggets have gone out and fixed every weakness around him in the offseason. So if Jokic could put up an all-time great season with little to no help, imagine what happens when he finally gets some. The rest of the league is about to find out, and they are not ready.
Masterful dish from Jokic.
Jokic, no look, the flying feet of Jokic backing in, little hook shot, it's good.
After winning 3 MVPs in the last 4 years, you'd think Nikola Jokic had reached his ceiling. At that point, we're talking about a guy already playing at an all-time great level. How much higher could he possibly go? Well, apparently higher. Because last season, Jokic somehow leveled up again, playing even better basketball than he did in most of those MVP seasons. And remember, those seasons were already absurd. This time, he wasn't just great, he was historically great. We're talking about a player who casually dismantled defenses, night after night, while putting up video game numbers like it was nothing more than a Tuesday scrimmage. His 2024 season wasn't just special, it was beyond phenomenal. The kind of campaign that places him in rare company with the absolute peak versions of the game's greatest players. Think about Michael Jordan in the late 80s into the 90s. LeBron James in the early 2010s. Shaquille O'Neal in 2000. Steph Curry in 2016. Hakeem Olajuwon in 1994, when he won both MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. Tim Duncan in 2003. Larry Bird in 1986. These are seasons burned into NBA history. And now, Jokic's 2024 season might just belong on that same list. Statistically, it ranks among the greatest ever. He averaged 29.6 points, 12.7 rebounds, 10.2 assists, and 1.8 steals per game, all while shooting 62% from the field, 42% from 3, and 80% from the free throw line. That level of efficiency is rare for anyone, but unheard of for a player carrying this type of scoring and playmaking responsibility. He became the first center in NBA history to average a triple-double across an entire season, joining Oscar Robertson and Russell Westbrook as the only players ever to do it. His 34 triple-doubles were the most ever recorded by a center, meaning he posted one in nearly half the games he played. When stacked against Robertson and Westbrook's best triple-double seasons, Jokic comes out ahead in almost every advanced stat. And while Robertson and Westbrook both posted true shooting percentages around 55%, Jokic finished at 66%, a massive gap in efficiency that completely changes the context of his production. The numbers didn't stop there. He set career highs in points, assists, and three-point percentage, while becoming the first player in league history to finish top 3 in points, rebounds, and assists per game in the same season. His player efficiency rating of 32.2 ranked second all-time, behind only Wilt Chamberlain. He led the league in offensive box plus-minus and offensive win shares, and in several other categories, he was either at career best levels or outright at the top of the league. The impact on his team was staggering. With Jokic off the floor, the Nuggets were 19.8 points per 100 possessions worse. Without him, they would have ranked dead last in offensive efficiency. With him, they had one of the best offenses in NBA history. Every possession ran through him, whether it was his passing, his outside shooting, or his unmatched touch inside the paint. But Jokic's season wasn't just about raw numbers. It was about the way he controlled the game. His greatness lives in the spaces between the stats, the no-look passes, the half-court buzzer beaters, the ridiculous touch shots in traffic. These are plays you don't need a spreadsheet to appreciate. Watching him, it's obvious he's mastered the game at a level no one else can touch. In a league full of stars, Jokic stands alone. His 2024 season wasn't just dominant, it was transformative, reshaping how we view his place in basketball history. He's the first center to average double-digit assists, the first to average a triple-double for a full year, and the only player combining historic production with this kind of efficiency. At this point, there's no debate. Nikola Jokić is the best player in the world.
Right around Isaac. Bye-bye, baby. Denver Nuggets are number 1 in the league in fast scoring for a reason.
The craziest part about Nikola Jokic's dominance is that he's done it all without the kind of elite help most all-time greats have had. No all-star teammate. No all-defensive teammate. No all-NBA teammate. No Rookie of the Year teammate. Not even a teammate leading the league in any major statistical category. Think about that for a second. Over his entire 10-year career, Jokic has never had a teammate check a single one of those boxes. And yet, he's been dragging Denver deep into the playoffs, winning MVPs, and making them a contender every single year. In fact, it's fair to argue that in the last few seasons, Denver probably could have added more championships to their resume if not for their thin bench and lack of depth. Because when Jokic came off the floor, everything fell apart. That was the story, over and over again. So heading into this offseason, the front office had one clear priority: maximize the Jokic years. Take a big swing. Build a roster that can not only keep pace in the regular season but also survive the weight of a deep playoff run. And in the first 48 hours of free agency, that's exactly what they did. Denver completely reshaped their roster. The Nuggets traded for Cam Johnson and Jonas Valanciunas in separate deals, then brought back fan favorite Bruce Brown, and capped it off by signing Tim Hardaway Jr. in free agency. 4 major moves in 2 days. The centerpiece, of course, was the Cam Johnson trade. On the surface, it might look like a shooter-for-shooter swap. Denver sent out Michael Porter Jr., one of the most dangerous three-point threats in the league. But in reality, this move could completely redefine how Denver's offense operates. Porter was a beloved player in Denver, a key piece of the 2023 championship team, a scorer and a rebounder. But his game never evolved beyond that. He didn't become a passer. He didn't become a creator. His value lived and died with his ability to make tough shots. Cam Johnson, meanwhile, brings a nearly identical shooting profile, 39% from deep on the same kind of volume, but he plays with a totally different rhythm. He moves more. He passes more. He's comfortable making the extra read to keep the offense flowing. He doesn't rebound like MPJ, but he's a better defender, more versatile, and plays with a higher basketball IQ. Last season in Brooklyn, Johnson averaged 18.8 points and 4.3 rebounds, but what really stood out was his growth as a playmaker. He's not coming to Denver to be a primary creator, and with Jokic running the offense, he doesn't need to be. All he has to do is space the floor, cut smartly, hit open shots, and keep the ball moving. And that's exactly what he does at a higher level than Porter. The deal also freed up $17 million in cap space, giving Denver more flexibility to rebuild around Jokic. And they wasted no time using it. Soon after landing Johnson, Denver struck again, sending Dario Saric to Sacramento in exchange for Jonas Valanciunas. Another smart move. Saric's contract wasn't helping, but Valanciunas gives Denver something they've desperately needed: a reliable backup center. Now, Valanciunas isn't the all-star big man he once was, but compared to recent bench options like DeAndre Jordan or Saric, this is a massive upgrade. He's still a rebounding machine, still has soft touch around the rim, and can hit the occasional jumper. In Denver, his role will be smaller, probably 10 to 15 minutes a night, but perfectly suited for his skill set. Finally, the Nuggets will have a rock-solid frontcourt anchor for the minutes Jokic sits. And the reinforcements didn't stop there. Denver also brought back Bruce Brown, another key part of their 2023 championship run. In that season, Brown was the ultimate Swiss Army knife. He defended every position, handled the ball, slashed, rebounded, hit threes, and most importantly, filled in whatever gap the team needed on any given night. Having him back instantly gives Denver the kind of lineup versatility they've been missing since he left. Finally, the Nuggets addressed one of their biggest weaknesses from last year: three-point volume. Denver ranked dead last in three-point attempts per game. So, they went out and signed Tim Hardaway Jr., a career 36% shooter from deep and a high-volume gunner who can stretch defenses. Hardaway doesn't need much space to get his shot off, and playing next to Jokic, he's going to get more open looks than he's ever seen in his career. So, in just a few days, Denver added shooting, defense, playmaking, and size. They addressed their depth issues, balanced the roster, and built a supporting cast that finally matches the greatness of their superstar. And when you put the best player in the world in his prime on a roster like that, there's no reason this team can't cruise to 55+ wins, and maybe even more.
Cam Johnson!
Oh, wow.
Long three for Hardaway Jr. And it's...
With that being said, while Denver didn't add a certified all-star to pair with Nikola Jokić, the pieces they brought in might actually make him even more unstoppable. Last season, Jokić directly generated nearly 40% of Denver's total points, scoring 2,271 himself and assisting on another 1,850. It was a testament to his brilliance, but also a sign of over-reliance. He averaged almost 37 minutes a night, far too heavy of a workload over an 82-game season. That kind of burden isn't sustainable for a team chasing multiple titles. Not when opponents can load up on him without truly fearing the rest of the roster. This season should be different. The Nuggets finally have depth. They now have the size, shooting, and playmaking to survive, and even thrive, in the non-Jokić minutes. Jonas Valanciunas and Aaron Gordon provide enough skill and rebounding to hold their own whenever Jokić rests. Ideally, Jokić should be closer to 32 or 33 minutes per night, with full rest days sprinkled in, preserving his legs for the postseason. But the real advantage of this retooled roster is balance. There isn't a single player you'd label as selfish. Everyone in the starting five is a willing passer, and the second unit might be just as strong in that regard. Cam Johnson doesn't just bring elite shooting, he also offers underrated playmaking, always willing to make the extra pass. Bruce Brown functions as a pseudo-point guard off the bench, capable of running the offense, handling the ball, and making the right reads while rarely forcing shots. Even Jonas Valanciunas, though not flashy, has quietly excellent decision-making and court vision for a big man. If there's one player who breaks slightly from Denver's pass-happy, beautiful game approach, it's Tim Hardaway Jr. He's a natural scorer and never shy about letting it fly. But in this context, that's not a flaw, it's a feature. Every team needs a microwave scorer who can swing a game when the offense stalls. Some nights, Hardaway will frustrate fans. Other nights, he'll bury 7 threes and completely flip the momentum. The result is a deep, balanced rotation where nearly every player moves the ball, plays unselfishly, and makes the most of every possession. And that balance could make this season's version of the Nuggets not only the most entertaining, but also the most dangerous we've ever seen. Bring it all together, and what you get is a Jokić who's more unstoppable than ever. With floor spacers like Cam Johnson, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Aaron Gordon, who's coming off his best shooting season yet, defenses can't simply collapse on Jokić anymore. Sending doubles or triples becomes a gamble, because it risks giving up wide-open threes from multiple angles. This kind of spacing stretches defenses to the breaking point. It opens up the court in ways Jokić has never fully had at his disposal. His passing vision is already legendary, but now those lanes are even wider and cleaner. Instead of threading impossible needles, he can hit shooters in rhythm, turning every possession into a highlight. And with multiple players consistently shooting above 35% from deep, defenses are forced to respect the perimeter. That means Jokić gets more room to operate inside, more space to back defenders down, more driving lanes, and more opportunities to create plays directly off the dribble. It's the perfect formula. A fresher Jokić, surrounded by balance, spacing, and unselfish playmakers. And the scary part is, he was already the best player in the world.
That's too easy.
Of course, it's not always about offense. The Nuggets' new signings bring serious defensive upgrades and depth, making this team tougher all around. Bruce Brown is an elite, switchable defender with proven playoff experience, ready to take on the league's best wings. Cam Johnson, while inconsistent at times defensively in the past, is expected to thrive in Denver's system. With less offensive pressure on his shoulders, Johnson can focus on becoming an above-average wing defender. That combination gives Denver improved perimeter defense, a stronger starting lineup, and the ability to lock down shooters while switching effectively. The ripple effect of this is huge. It allows Nikola Jokić to focus more on rim protection instead of scrambling to cover defensive gaps. Denver's scheme leverages Jokic's quick hands and elite rebounding, minimizing his weaknesses by having him step out on ball handlers while the rest of the defense protects the paint. With this roster, the Nuggets add lineup flexibility, seamlessly balancing offense and defense. In other words, Denver didn't just make Jokic more efficient, they made the entire machine harder to break. This added depth and defensive strength could be the difference between a strong regular season and a true championship run. Because let's be honest, Jokic is still the center of it all. And at 30 years old, he isn't slowing down. In fact, he's playing at a historic peak. Last season, he averaged nearly 30 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists, a triple-double pace, while shooting 62% from the field and 41% from three. There isn't a spot on the floor where he can't dismantle defenses. Near the rim, he's unstoppable, using his size, strength, and silky footwork to bully opponents who have no answer for his unique skill set. From beyond the arc, he's become a legitimate sniper, shooting over 40% last year and forcing defenses to guard him everywhere. Traditionally, teams try two things against dominant big men: push them away from the basket or collapse multiple defenders on them. But with Jokic, both strategies fail. Double him, and he finds the open shooter. Guard him one-on-one, and he'll back you down, shoot over you, or thread an impossible pass. Foul him, and you're just giving free points to an 83% shooter at the line. The truth is, you can't game plan Jokic out. The only hope is that he has an off night, and the scary part is, those nights barely exist anymore. At age 30, Jokic is in the absolute prime of his career. He's coming off arguably the greatest season of his life, cementing himself as the league's best passer at a position not known for passing, and one of its most efficient shooters at a position not known for shooting. Combine that with elite scoring, rebounding, and unmatched offensive creativity, and you have one of the most complete players in NBA history. Now, Denver has given him the best supporting cast since their 2023 title run, maybe even better. They're deeper, smarter, more balanced, and more dangerous than ever. After winning 3 MVPs in 5 years, it seemed impossible to imagine Jokic reaching new heights. But he has. And Denver knows this is their moment. The Nuggets are all in on winning now, and they've surrounded their superstar with the talent and depth to do exactly that.
Jokic knows exactly where Brown is. It's like watching a video game out here. Jokic under to Brown, he scores!
So the real question isn't whether Nikola Jokic can dominate next season, it's who on earth is going to stop him. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is Jokic already a lock for his 4th MVP? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Plenty more content is coming your way.